Well guys, we're back in the mobile home today, getting back to work on the kitchen. I can't wait to get these cabinets installed so we can finish up the kitchen. And that's what we're working on today. I'm going to start with the uppers. Sounds easy. There's only 3 of them on this side of the kitchen. But I'm sure I'll overcomplicate it, find things to struggle with, and take a long time. So that's my goal today, is to get through that. There actually is a couple of obstacles, which I'll talk about as we get to them. So after looking at this run of cabinets right here, I've decided I'm actually going to start at the far end and work my way into the corner. And that means I'm starting with the most difficult cabinet because I have a couple of cutouts to do. One for this electrical outlet right there. And that electrical outlet goes to the range hood. And that's the other obstacle, is this cabinet that goes on the end is going to hold a range hood. But it's not any old range hood. I don't even know if it's going to work with these cabinets. So I'm going to have to look at this and see if I can make sense of it. So there's my cabinet. And now we purchased a bit of an odd range hood because we wanted this to be a really sleek design. This might be a little bit form over function, but it still should work good. But let me show you. This right here is the range hood. So what this range hood is designed to do is actually fit inside of a cabinet, or a box if you just want to box it out, but it's designed to fit in a cabinet. It doesn't stick out like a traditional range hood. So when you look at the kitchen, you're just going to see a row of cabinets. And that's what I wanted. I just wanted a clean run of cabinets, and I didn't want to see any range hoods sticking out. So this might not be as effective as some of the bigger scoop ones, but it still will be better than nothing, and it should work pretty good, and it's going to look good. That's the main point. So I have to see if this is going to fit into our RTA cabinet. All right, I'm getting the layout figured out, and I have to take this clip off on the bottom here. I'll explain what I'm doing in a minute. But this is in my way for the moment. But here's the thing to remember. This is all that's holding this cabinet together, are these hooks. So taking this out is not ideal. All right, we've made a decision that we're just going to take the bottom out of the cabinet. It'll be easier to cut if it's uninstalled. Well guys, that's what's left of our bottom panel. Not much at all. So now I just have to cut this piece to fit and hope I can get it screwed back on. We need some spacers for the sides. But now we have to cut the duct opening in the top of the cabinet for this round duct to come up through the top. So I'm going to work on getting this laid out. Now the range hood actually mounts inside the cabinet like this, and I will be adding some wood on the sides to reinforce this. But I just wanted to lay it out so that I can get my hole marked. And I'm going to be drilling it out with this giant hole saw. Now I'm using a 5-inch duct. This is a 5-inch duct. It's obviously a lot smaller than that, but it was hard to find the right size hole saw, and it's okay to go up to 6 because it gives us play. And that way, if things aren't perfect, we still have room to work. Oh! Okay. That's good, that's good. Now, I have to cut away this piece of wood, but I just want to look at it first to make sure I'm not going to ruin too much strength out of the cabinet. Now, before I go any further, I just want to reinforce this cabinet and finish this up. So basically, I ripped some pieces of wood. We have to cut into length, but I'm going to be boxing in the sides for that thing to mount to. Okay, reinforcements in place. Everything's a lot more solid, and now we have solid wood blocking to hold our range hook. With this done, what I need to do is lift this up to the ceiling, or at least get some measurements from it and transfer the mark to the ceiling, because we're going to be drilling a hole straight up. So now I was getting ready to drill the ceiling, but I nearly forgot. I still have to cut out an outlet opening on the back of the cabinet. So I'm going to do that really quick, and then I'm ready to drill the ceiling, which I'm a little bit nervous about because of my hugely oversized hole saw. We're going to wing it. We're going to see what happens. Okay, now we hope this outlet is in the right spot and we don't have another mistake like that one. We got the hole through the ceiling, and I did a pilot hole through the old roof, but now we have to go on the outside of the house, try to find it. We got to take off our roof panel so that we can find the hole, so we can drill it from the top side and see what we can do up there. I don't know. I think I will have to lift this second sheet as well. Well, I've been doing some work up on that roof, and I boxed out some frame blocking to hold our new roof vent. This is the roof vent that I got. I found one that was pretty heavy duty with some wide metal flanges on the side so that I could tuck it up under the metal roofing. And even though this isn't designed for ribbed roofing, because it's at the bottom of the roof and close to that drip edge, I can actually use this and it shouldn't leak if we do it right. So I'm going to take you up quick and show you the framing, but also I'm going to add my duct work to this before I put it in so that it's just easier, because I won't be able to tape it once it's in that roof. So I'm going to add an elbow that comes down at a slight angle, tape it on there, and then I can put that whole thing down and we should have our pipe going through the roof. So this is the cutout I made on the roof, and let me pull up the panel so you can see the framing. I don't know if you can see it okay, but it's just some pocket hold 2x4s making a box. And the flange is going to sit right under all this metal, and you see the edge of the roof. It's going to shed water off. It's going to be perfect. So I kind of guessed at how much to turn this. These elbows you can buy at the store, they come straight and you swivel them to get the angle you need, and I'm kind of guessing. After a lot of struggle, I think we've got the duct down where we want it, looking good. I think we're ready to lift the cabinet. We're not sure if we're 100% ready, because we're not sure if we should have the ductwork extended down first or second, but we're gonna wing this.
You want to get the screw started, at least?
Then we won't have anything sticking out if I want to do a trim piece. Hold on, my wires are getting stuck. Okay.
Okay, my way a little. If we line it up with the top, the bottom sticks out this way more.
Yeah.
Okay, over more.
It's... I think it's cool that we were able to hit 3 studs with this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we still have work to do. We got to secure the roof before we leave.
Yeah.
But
It might be fine though.
But with this, we could start figuring out how long the ductwork needs to be. Let me just see this. Well guys, we're making it further and further along. We have the ductwork hooked up and it's time to screw this into the cabinet. I'm a little bit nervous about this, but let's commit to it. I have been doing a lot of work on the roof outside and I'm not able to really show you guys, but we did get that roof all screwed back down. I put butyl tape around the edge of the roof cap and got it all screwed in. So it's pretty secure. Now I'm hoping all of this works and there's no problems, no leaks. I think it'll be fine. I got tape up here. I still have to seal right here, but this part isn't as critical. I mean, it's just blowing hot air outside. Some people were wondering before we did this setup of why we weren't installing it, why we weren't venting through the wall instead of the roof, because I understand putting a hole in your roof is usually the last thing you want to do. But the problem I was running into is the way this house is built, there's not much room here. I mean, we're at the very top of the wall with the top plate. And if you look at the outside of the house, the way the siding is, we have a strip of siding with a trim piece and then more siding below it. And if I had turned it, I would need an elbow directly turning. It would put the hole in a very awkward spot. And we don't have any sheathing on our house. It's just aluminum siding. So I would have nothing to secure a vent cap to. It would be very floppy. We'd have to pull open the wall, add all kinds of blocking, and then install the vent cap. And putting an elbow this close to this is not good because it restricts the flow and it causes noise. It'll make it noisier than it needs to be. So just because of this house having low ceilings, awkward walls, no sheathing, small overhangs, I just didn't want to go through the wall. I thought the best option on this house was to just go through the roof. It's a direct flow up and out, and it should be plenty watertight the way I did it. It'll make this more efficient, more quiet. That's why we chose through the roof versus through the wall. I know some range hoods, especially the ones mount under the cabinet, they do have a through the wall option where it just shoots it out the back. But it's just not the way this one works. This one's actually really cool because you can see we're gonna have the outlet up in there, plugs in, and this is what it's gonna look like. This cover right here is the trim plate and it's magnetic. So it just clips on. Of course, our filter media things go there, so the mesh filters. And then that's it. So look at how sleek that is. Is it going to be as good as a hood that sticks out as catching? I don't know, probably not. But we're going for looks here. We just wanted it to look nice, and I think we have accomplished that. Now imagine this, cabinets running straight down. I know they're super high, but it's going to make sense because we have the hood, and we're going to have a sink. We're barely going to have any counter space, so we don't really want any low cabinets here. Now, why I offset it in the cabinet, let me just explain that. This was an awkward space to work with, and the stove is going to be like right here. I had to buy a little 9-inch cabinet for the edge just to have a little buffer between the stove and the refrigerator. Well, I couldn't find a 9-inch upper cabinet, and I didn't want a weird, awkward space right here. So what I did was I got an extra wide cabinet, 36 inches, and I just offset the range hood so that basically this extra space on here is taking up the space of that cabinet. Does that make sense? Let me just show you up close. There's the lights, and that's the fan speeds. So now that the cabinet is in place and looking good, I'm going to get the outlets installed in the electrical box up there. But I do want to show you guys that I'm using an outlet box spacer. So this is a box extender, and it's going to go in here. All right. Now, just for fun, I'll tell you that I almost installed these. This is what I wanted in there. Because it would look cleaner, you'd have one outlet for the... There's a reason there's a double in there. One of them is for the cabinet lighting, one of them is for the range hood. So I was going to have cabinet lighting, range hood, and then I could label them. They wouldn't get mixed up, and you wouldn't be tempted to plug anything else in. But when I got looking at these and installing them, I realized there was going to be so many ground wires because these aren't self-grounding. So I had already like 4 ground wires hooked together in there, and then I'd need 2 more. I have 6, and I have a big bundle. I just didn't want to deal with it. So put in those self-grounding outlets. They work better. And I just realized this is the first time I've ever seen an upside down plug on a right angle cord. Now I have to take the outlet out and turn it upside down.
What if you just...
You can't have it pull in.
Ugh. They're never consistent with stuff.
Wow. All right, got it upside down. This is so weird. Right angle cords like this usually have the ground on the bottom. It's so strange. So we have to do a little cleanup in here. We'll tidy that cord up. Looking good, solid. I wish I could turn it on, but we don't have the power on in the kitchen just yet, and it's not safe to turn it on yet. So we're gonna leave that off. We'll test it later, but I would love to see what it sounds like, how it works. Yeah, it's coming along. And with that, we can say that this cabinet is done. It was an all-day project just for one cabinet, but there was a lot involved, as you can see. And now we're ready to hook up. There's only 2 more cabinets up here. I wish I could do them today, but we got to get home, so we'll do that next time. Now that we're back into this project, we're going to keep going with it. So get these cabinets installed, get these installed, and then we'll start planning. We already have plans, but we have to get the countertops. You know, we're going to roll on this kitchen. This has been the holdup because it's a big job. As you can see, I had to open up the roof and do all this stuff. It's pretty involved. It might not look like it, but it was a lot of thinking. And we had to wait 2 weeks just to get that vent cap.
Yeah, they lost the first one.
Yeah.
Then they reship another one.
Luckily, we got some other jobs done while we were waiting back at home. That was good. And now we're back here. So I think that's all we have for now. It looks sad. I know. One lone cabinet.
It took all day.
Thanks for watching. And until next time, take care.
Bye. Ooh.
Check it out. So the butyl tape is under there. Water should be able to drain off. I have butyl tape, and I'll come back later if I remember with some siding, some roof sealant, and do it along the edge just to be extra safe. But the flange is pretty wide. That's what it looks like.